Got the beer in your hand.
You're gonna cut it out anyway.
Gatorade kids. 3, 2, 1. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Couch Coaching. I'm Vincent. This is Jimmy. Today we'll be covering the second quarter of the Dallas Cowboys 2013 season. The first quarter, the Cowboys went 2-2.
Somehow they're leading their division.
Somehow they're leading the NFCs. And look, in our first segment that we did about the Dallas Cowboys, I was telling Jimmy that the NFC East, I said it was weak, and I kind of backpedaled on that. And what I said was that they're all kind of even. I didn't think they'd be this weak.
Yeah,
because they are weak.
Goodness gracious.
Jesus, I mean the Dallas Cowboys again are leading the division at 2-2. The rest of the division, starting at the second team in the division, the Philadelphia Eagles are 1-3 under Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. The Washington Redskins are 1-3, and the New York Giants are 0-4.
I never saw that one coming.
I didn't see that one coming at all.
If you'd asked me, at the beginning of the season, Giants were going to start out the season 0-4, I'd have told you,
you're crazy.
You're crazy. Because with Eli Manning under there, you would have at least figured they'd at least had maybe 2.
Maybe 2-2. I feel like they'd probably be more like 3-1.
Right.
Not 0-4.
Yeah, no, I never saw 0-4.
No.
Again, another one of them surprise stories of the season.
Exactly. That's why you play the game, right?
Right.
So the Cowboys, the first game was against the New York Giants, and they beat them 36-31. Even though, and again, the game was close, even though the Giants turned over the ball a handful of times. I mean, I think it was 5 interceptions and then maybe even a fumble. They turned the ball over way too many times and still had a chance to win the game. Then the Cowboys played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they escaped with a victory against they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
Sorry. And really, they snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat. Well, snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. Because they actually were winning that game against Kansas City. And then Kansas City,
but again, when you let a
together.
team just hang around like that.
Exactly. Let a team hang around.
That's what
this
happened.
is what can happen.
And then, of course, they ended up winning against St. Louis, which I don't see a whole lot of people having a hard time winning against St. Louis.
Not right now. I mean, they got a lot of good talent on that team, but they're just not ready yet.
Right, and I think with Jeff Fisher there, like I said on the Texans episode,
right.
Jeff Fisher is a good coach. I think he's just got a lot of choices he's going to have to make.
Right, some tough choices.
And then, of course, they lost to San Diego last week.
Which is going to set up. Now, they lost to San Diego last week, and Phillip Rivers looked like old Phillip Rivers. And this kind of falls right into the game that's going to start this quarter of this season for the Dallas Cowboys, because they'll be playing the Denver Broncos. Right. So Jimmy's going to tell you where the Cowboys are standing with on offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. All right. Now, offensive side, they're ranked 19 total yards per game with 340 yards. 238 ranks 20 in the passing yards per game. And then 102, 19 rushing yards. This is for the whole league.
And it's 19 out of 32 teams.
Yeah. And then, of course, they're 10th in points per game with 26, 35% third down efficiency, and 382 yards allowed. This is ranked 20th in the league. So, just out of pure spite, real quick, because we don't do this, but I'm going to go ahead.
Well, it's kind of setting up with what we're going to be talking about next.
Because
correct?
I have to say this. Look, they're Cowboys. This is the reason why the Cowboys get the rep that they do. All right, now we're talking about them playing Denver Broncos.
Right.
This coming up. This coming
weekend,
up.
right?
All right. Denver is ranked first in total yards per game with 483. They're ranked first in passing yards, 363. They're ranked 15 in rushing yards, which is 119. Points per game, 44, which is again ranked first. 55% third down efficiency.
As opposed to the Cowboys, 35?
Yeah. And, of course, 390 yards allowed, which is 25th in defense, which, again, is the bottom of the league, when it comes to that. But, again,
when you put up 44 points,
55% of their third down completions are being made, your defense ain't on the field. So now the defense, once you do that, is the offense on the other side has to play catch up. So they have to throw the ball more.
Right. So it's going to be
that stat is not really true to really what it does, because again, when you're looking at first and points, yards, passing yards, you're telling me that when I'm looking at that stat that eventually I'll be 14-0. I got no choice but to throw. That's going to set you up to being last in defense.
Or like you say, part of that is, they're so far out in front of a lot of these games, the defense is just playing prevent.
That's it.
So a lot of these yards that's putting them ranked 25th is because, they're so far out in front. They just playing prevent, just protecting the lead, so to speak.
So with that being said,
yeah, the Cowboys are going to lose. this game against Denver.
Look,
I have no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, I mean, because the Cowboys came out openly and said they're tired of hearing about what's going on with Denver and Peyton. And okay, you're tired of being asked about that. But I think it's a legitimate question to be asked. They destroyed Baltimore. Peyton Manning went out and threw 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Right.
Against the defending championships on a Thursday night game.
Right.
Look, your defense is no better than theirs.
Right.
So, of course, Cowboy fans are want to be asking Peyton Manning this, Peyton Manning that. Because why? You're sitting at 2-2 in a division that you should easily be 3-1.
When you see, that's the problem I have with the Cowboys right now. And I think I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I love the game of football. And I can understand why people just can't stand the Cowboys, because this year was their year, in my opinion, to do something in the NFC East.
Well, but I'm thinking of when you're saying that it's their year to
go to Super. No, I'm not going to necessarily say that, but they'll go to. I think they'll still go to the playoffs. So let's understand this. I think they'll still go to the playoffs. But my problem with the Cowboys is that in this first quarter of the season, they had an opportunity to make some real gains on the rest of the division.
Yeah,
and they didn't.
I believe so. And I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Because when you look at that schedule and you look at that division, 1-3, 1-3, 0-4, 2-2.
2-2.
You're one game away from being second.
You should have at least, again, and I'm going to go back. We're going to go back. We're not going to dwell on this long. We got some other games we got to cover. But, look, they should have beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
But Kansas City's 4-0. Kansas City's a good team. They should have beat Kansas City. If you watch that game, they had that game won.
Right.
But the defense, the 20th was the 19th ranked defense in the league.
19th.
Gave up the game. You get what I'm saying? They should have beaten San Diego. But they go into the locker room and another team came out after halftime. I don't know who came out after halftime. I don't know, but again, this is the stuff that the Cowboys do.
This is the reason why I always say Jerry Jones keeps his butt in the press box. Don't go to the locker room.
Get you a general manager, please.
Because when I can tell you right now, what ended up happening, Jerry Jones probably went down there in the locker room. Hey guys, we're doing a great job. We're taking it to them. We're going to be 2-1. Right now,
right, yeah.
And we're going to be good. We're going to be on top. What happened? Guys got psyched up. Oh yeah, Jerry Jones in there giving us all the praise and everything else. And then what happens? A whole nother team shows up.
Right.
I can tell you right now, Jerry Jones is like, I was just giving him a pep talk. I mean, come on. Look, keep your butt in the press box. Do what you're supposed to do. Let them do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Can't stand Jerry Jones. I'm telling you right now, God is my witness. If Jerry Jones ever were to leave the Dallas Cowboys and just retire, I think I would actually enjoy watching the Cowboys again.
Right.
But until then, not going to happen. And you heard that here first.
What Jerry needs to do is just be an owner and stop trying to manage this team in the way that he does. Because a part of their problem is they're just talent deficient at different positions. They have some great skill position players, but you got to fill out some of these roster spots. Austin can't stay healthy, and it's hurting him. You know what I'm saying? Miles can't stay healthy, and it's hurting him, man.
And then only having Dez Bryant as your number one and your number two, I got to double team him, and he's taking out the equation.
And that's exactly what happens. But again, you know, we're gonna move on to the rest of this quarter. You know, again,
they're gonna lose the Broncos.
Well, they're gonna lose to the Broncos, and then here comes the problem with the way they handled the first quarter of the season.
Right.
Because if they would have been at least 3-1, possibly 4-0, but at least 3-1 in that first quarter of the season. Because you look back at it, and again, I'm sorry, I'm digressing, but if you look back at it, you know, they got lucky beating the Giants. Because the Giants, you know, as poorly as they played, they were still in the game. They should have beat Kansas City.
They did beat St. Louis.
Right, and they had San Diego beat.
So, yeah, they should have been 4-0.
So they could be 4-0.
You can afford to lose this game because the chances are you're going to. Now, you play the game to play the game.
Yeah, you play to win the game, but
the deal is that when you're looking at it on paper, and if you watch Sunday before the game, the people that are sitting there, they get paid to make the same predictions that we're doing for free.
Right.
They're going to tell you Broncos, 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 Broncos. Ain't nobody going to pick the Cowboys.
Yeah, except for a Cowboy fan.
Right, because of the fact that when you're looking at it on paper, Broncos should easily go out here before the end of the second quarter have a 3-touchdown lead on them.
Right.
Easily.
Right.
So the deal is that because you did what you did in the first half
and go 2-2.
Now with you losing this game,
you'll be 2-3. Yeah, you'll be 2-3, and then you have to play the Washington Redskins. And so if you're 2-3, now
and they're 1-3,
and they're 1-3. Yeah, the Washington Redskins are 1-3, and let's
they're on their bye.
Yeah, they're on their bye this week.
Yeah, they're on their bye.
So they're on their bye next week. So they'll have 2 weeks to prepare for you. Okay, they'll be a game up. They'll have the opportunity to tie you, basically in the division, and then you have to go to Philadelphia and play Philadelphia after that. Mm-hmm. And again, I mean, you have done yourself a disservice because you didn't handle your business the first part of the season. But again, this is what the Cowboys do. This is what they do. This is how they roll. So to speak.
They want to be the lead dog in the NFL. This is what they want to do. But every time, they always want to take the hard road to get there.
Right.
And that's, I mean, because look, I don't know how much better the league could have planned this out, as in giving you the opportunity to do what it is that you, quote unquote, are destined to do.
Right.
So, with that being said, they're going to lose against the Broncos. Hands down, I feel the same way, just like everybody else on Sunday is going to tell you the same thing. Then they're going to go ahead and meet up with Washington. Now this comes the tricky part, because we don't know what Washington team is going to show up. They're on a bye week. They're going to get RG3 back into motion and everything else.
He'll be a little bit healthier.
They're going to have Morris, who's going to be healthier too, which he was taken out in the third quarter.
Yeah, he had cracked ribs or something like that.
No, they did the MRI and everything. It was just a bruise.
Okay,
so he'll be back. But even if he's not, who is that?
Yeah, Halu. Right.
He's a good running back.
Right.
So he's going to take over the reins if Morris ain't back. Which Morris has already said that he's going to be back.
Right.
So again, we don't know what team is going to show up, but even if so, I'm going to say that the Cowboys will win that game.
Only reason I'm going to agree with you on this one, and the only reason I am is because the only sampling that I have is what the Redskins have put forward this first part of the season. You know, the Redskins are 1-3. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm not just saying this. I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah, the only game that they actually got blown out of was the Philadelphia game.
Right.
I think that was the only game. And I take that back. I think did they play Green Bay?
They were in the game in Green Bay. What's been a part of their problem is that they have lost their identity trying to quote unquote protect Robert from himself. Look, this is football. Okay, you need to let the dude play the way that they play the game. San Francisco's going through the same thing. You know, kind of with Colin Kaepernick, and trying to prove that Colin Kaepernick is a pocket passer. He's not a pocket passer. He can throw from the pocket, but he's not a pocket passer.
He's not a Peyton.
He's not.
He's not a what's his name from Green Bay?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, look, what made these guys a superstar last season, Kaepernick and Wilson and RG3, what made these guys elite last season that made you go, wow, was the fact that they ran the ball when they needed to run.
And I'm gonna say
They
this:
didn't hold it. They didn't
Right.
sit there and go, "Well, I need to stay in the pocket. No." They made plays.
when the opportunity
So
presented
when the
itself,
defense
right?
was there, the defense would step up. Now, because here's the deal: if you're a defensive coordinator, not only do I need to defend the pass, because when he's got the time, he can pass the ball all day long.
Right.
I got to defend this dude when he runs. So I've got to take less effect out of the man and play zone to watch this guy.
You gotta keep the spy on him, right.
So you add a whole nother deal. So here's the deal: if I'm a defensive coordinator in the first part of the season, I ain't seen this dude run. I ain't seen this dude take off. I ain't seen this dude even try to scramble. Why do I need to put a QB spot?
Right.
Why do I need to put my guys in zone? I'll just man him up and have him throw from the pocket. That's what the problem was with Kaepernick, because Kaepernick was like, "Look, I'm a runner too, but I want you to stay in the pocket."
Right.
Well, everybody's manning up, so I have to make a precision pass at the precision time, right when it needs to be there.
Right.
And they can't do that if everybody's manning up on everybody and double
Right.
teaming my only receiver that I can throw to.
Right.
And that's the problem that both of them are facing right now, is because they're not allowing them to get back to the true identity that they were, that last year made them a superstar.
Right.
You get them back to running, you get them back to that threat. I'm not saying you need to run a guy 12 times a game.
But the threat needs to be
Put
there.
that threat into the defensive coordinator's mind to where he's like, okay, he can take off.
Right.
He's willing to take off now. We need to go ahead and change our defense to accommodate what's going on over here with this one guy.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get into the mind of that defensive coordinator. And if you're not willing to do that, he's not going to sit there and focus on your one quote-unquote best player. He's going to take everybody else out of the game and allow him to make the plays.
Kind of how they did Vince Young when they started making him stay in the pocket. Right. Exactly.
Right. So, and that's the problem. And I think right now RG3 is still trying to get the legs under him and all that. I think Cowboys will end up winning that game.
I kind of say that too, and again, that's based solely on the sample size that we have right now for the Redskins. And so we both agree that they'll lose to the Broncos and then they'll pull out a win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means.
No, I don't think it'll be a blowout.
I think they'll pull out a win against Washington, and then they have to go to Philadelphia to play the Eagles.
See, and here's an interesting matchup for me, because Chip Kelly right now started off so strong.
Right.
In that first win with the Eagles. I'm looking for Chip Kelly to come back to being Chip Kelly.
Right.
In that game against the Cowboys. I'm really thinking Chip Kelly's going to come out and he's going to want to do that hurry stuff and allow McCoy and Jackson and all them guys just to do what they do best, which is run and catch a ball and all that kind of stuff, and get Michael Vick rolling. I have a feeling that Philadelphia will upset Cowboys in that game.
I'm kind of leaning that way, but I think the reason that the Cowboys will be able to win is because Philadelphia's defense is even worse than Dallas's. So
the Cowboys are going to win in Philadelphia.
You said Philadelphia.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, so I think the Cowboys will win that game, but I do like what Chip is doing by increasing the number of offensive plays. But here's the reality of that. And we kind of spoke on that when we were talking about, Denver and the misrepresented numbers that they have on their side of the ball defensively. When your offense is scoring like that and moving the ball like that, your defense is going to be on the field longer, and it's going to make them more susceptible to bigger plays because they have to be on the field so much.
Well, and that being said, I think, though, with the fact of what the Cowboys like to do, is I think if I'm Chip Kelly and I'm doing them plays with the offense trying to get down the field,
hurry up plays, right?
I'm really going to tell my defensive guys, look, you're going to be on the field for a while.
Right.
The deal is, don't give up the big play.
Right.
Keep everything in front of you. Force them to get agitated with only getting the 3-yard dunks, the 3-yard run plays, the 1 10-yard pass, whatever. That's okay. Don't give up those big plays.
Right, the chunk plays. Right.
Allow them to make the mistake, because eventually they will make a mistake.
Right.
Allow them to make the mistake. Get us back the ball. You take a rest. We're going to put more, a hurry up.
Right.
will put more points.
And then you can attack the quarterback and do all that once we get the proper
and I
points.
think once they start developing that one system, the defensive guys will start coming around to where, like, this does make kind of a sense deal. And that's the reason why I'm thinking Philadelphia at that time will actually beat the Cowboys, because they would have had enough time in that system.
Right.
The defense would have had enough time in that system to really knuckle down into it and really understand what Chip is trying to do.
Right.
And that's why I think Philadelphia will end up winning that game.
Yes, you say Philadelphia win that game. I think the Cowboys offensively will have enough. I think, in all honesty, this is my bold prediction. I think Dez Bryant is going to go mad crazy. I think Dez Bryant he'll probably have close to 200 yards receiving in that game. So you say Philadelphia, I say Dallas. And then here they play another. And again, this is what irritates. I'm not a Cowboy fan. This is what irritates me about that first quarter of the season. Because now you in the hard part of your schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about Denver, then Washington and Philadelphia. Even though Washington and Philadelphia record-wise aren't up there,
but
they're still divisional opponents.
So that's always going to be a tougher game. That's always going to be a tougher matchup between your divisional rivals, because that's why they call them rivals.
Exactly.
Just like everybody knows Cowboys and Giants hate each other with a passion.
Right.
You watch that game because they hate them. And every division has them. Steelers and the Baltimore, Cowboys and the Giants, the Oakland Raiders and everybody else in their division. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, I mean, it's you watch it because of that, because it has more of an intensity, because if you win this game, you're half a game up.
Right.
And so you get to play it one more time to make sure that I am the elite of this division out of this group.
Right.
So that's the reason why those games are tough. Because the opponent you're playing may not be the greatest opponent, but they're going to physically put it on you because they've got to see you again.
Right.
And they want you to remember
right.
that it was me that did this to you
last time.
And this is what you did to me the last time. And they want that there. That's why they call it a division rival. And so, yeah, now you get to go play the Detroit Lions at Detroit. And I got news for you. Depending on what happens in that Denver game, we're going to see an exact thing with Matt Stafford and the Lions. Because here's the deal. Matt Stafford and the Lions, they're not a bad team.
No.
They've got a passing game, and now they got a
Reggie
running
Bush.
game.
Yeah, with the addition of Reggie Bush, it just changes everything. And then, you know, if Sue can just stay out of trouble. You know, here's my thing about Sue. Here's my thing about Ndamukong Suh. I think some of that stuff, well, I'm like this. Stomping on somebody's arm, that's childish. Kicking somebody in the groin, that's childish.
But again,
body slamming a quarterback, you should know better than that.
Okay, but let me tell you something. Being a defensive player myself,
you gonna take that all day.
I'm gonna tell you like this: if what that does is it puts that mindset in an offensive coordinator, we've got to watch this guy.
Right. All right.
Because I'm not gonna say that Ndamukong Suh is not a dirty player, because he does have some dirty tendencies. But what he does as well is that you've got to plan for me.
Right.
Because if I get to your quarterback, I'm going to do that. If you let me get to your quarterback, I'm going to stomp on his hand. Possibility body slam him down to the ground.
Right.
Maybe crack a rib because of the fact that I've hit him so hard.
I'm laying down on him, right.
I'm going to do this. There's not a, well, he'll take it easy. No.
Right.
This is what he does. This is what they pay him for. This is the reason why he's still on the roster.
Right.
If it had been anybody else, he'd have been gone.
Right.
But because it's Sue and what he does, this is the reason why he's there. So you have to, as an offensive coordinator, come up with schemes to sit there and block and man and everything else. And so, yeah, with that kind of a player, his intensity is there. And I'm not, again, he's a dirty player at times. He can be very dirty.
Right.
Be one of the dirtiest guys. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like watching him, because it reminds them of them old
football.
heydays,
Yeah.
where you see a guy run down the field with the ball, and then you see a 300-pound backer with his arm laid out, and it just
trying to clothesline him.
Clotheslines him. He does a flip over him and all that. I mean, that's the reason why people still watch the Detroit Lions, is because you have that mentality on that team to where you don't know what Sue's going to do that day.
Exactly.
Because every week there's something different with this guy, and it's like the league can't touch him. They'll find him all you want.
Exactly.
It's not going to do anything to me. I'll give you the money. I get paid to do this.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think they'll lose that game too.
Yeah, I honestly think again that's all based on the fact. Look, they're not going to be able to stop what Detroit likes to do in Detroit. It's not going to happen. And then the offensive line
and loud,
right? And then the offensive line is not going to be able to stop Fairley and Sue, and I forget the other two guys that they got on the ends.
And on top of that, they rotate these guys out.
They were like Giant. This line is like the Giants were in their Super Bowl year, and I was at 2008.
Yeah.
When they had everybody they brought in to get to the passer. Period.
Yeah, well,
and that's kind of how Detroit
they keep
is.
These guys
keep them fresh. Right.
They'll sit there, 2 plays in, run out. 2 plays in, run out. 2 plays, and then on top of that, you can't do that with your guards and centers and all that with the offensive line. You've got to sit there, and even if you try to hurry up all you want. Hurry up. All that's going to do is you're going to get tired. You're going to do an incomplete pass. 2 more guys come out on the field.
Right.
That's it. All you're going to do is play into their strengths. That's why I think Detroit will end up winning that game.
Yeah, I think Detroit will win this game too, man. And again, like I said, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but it's one of those things you have the opportunity to put your foot on the neck of your division. Because again, if let's just say for argument's sake that they did go 4-0 at the first half of the season, first quarter of the season. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You would place your bets on 2-2 for the second quarter, and you're still way out in front of the rest of the division.
Right, and that's the thing is that even right now with my picks alone, just mine as of right now, I've got them 1-3.
Right.
So if you'd have went 4-0, you would now be 5-3.
Right.
5-3, which is well above the norm in that division.
Right. And well above what everybody, because again, Washington and Philadelphia is going to lose. They're probably going to lose some games in this second quarter also.
Right. So that's
but you have decreased your error, your potential for error by not playing better in the first quarter of the season.
Right, and that's why it was so crucial for them to get
those wins in that first quarter. Exactly.
Because again, Washington can still turn around, Philadelphia can still turn around, and heck, even the Giants can still turn around.
Exactly. Because you look at we're going to close this segment. We just want to make a cross comparison with some other teams in another division where the team went out and did something in the first quarter of the season. So let's look at we'll talk about like the New Orleans Saints. Okay, now New Orleans Saints in the first quarter of their season they actually went 4-0. Okay, so they go 4-0 in the first part of their season. Carolina is 1-2 because they had a bye week. Carolina's 1-2. Atlanta's 1-3, and Tampa Bay is 4-0. 0-4. Sorry, 0-4. So, do you think Tampa Bay feels like they have a shot in this division? They're just playing for next year.
They're just playing for next year.
They know they're playing for next year. That's how the Giants should be feeling right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because when any time when you go 0-4 in the first quarter,
and then somebody else in your division goes 4-0.
Right, that should be in your mindset. We're done. We're done. Hey guys, we had a shot. Of course, your coaches are going to come in there and tell you guys.
Right.
We still have a shot. Which everyone in that locker room, what it does, it deflates.
Right.
Everything, because now you got to go through a whole season knowing you really don't have a shot. So what are you playing for?
Right.
And
all you doing is playing for your job, but you're not playing to win a championship or anything like that. So again, I'm done talking about it, But when you have those type of opportunities, that's the difference between the teams that want to win or have the ability to win and the Cowboys. That's it.
They were given every opportunity.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Couch Coaching.
Thank you.
Couch Coaching. Yeah. Couch Coaching. If you liked it, or if you like what you heard, or anything, you have any comments, leave them at the bottom of the page. If there's a team you want us to cover that we don't cover here currently,
leave it at the bottom of the page.
And you like anything you hear, leave us a
message on Couch Coaching 12 on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then we'll holler at you.
Peace. I think we're getting good at this, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like the banter.